Far out in the endless blue of the Pacific Ocean, straddling the equator, a scattered chain of islands rises from the waves, isolated, enigmatic, and shaped by forces deep within the earth. These are the Galapagos, a remote volcanic archipelago, set adrift nearly 1,000 kilometers from the South American continent, their very existence a testament to the planet's restless energy. Unlike the lush, idyllic islands of tropical imagination, the Galapagos are forged from fire and stone, a landscape of stark contrasts, where jagged lava fields and towering volcanic cones dominate the horizon. Their story begins far beneath the ocean's surface, at a place where the Earth's crust is thin and restless. Here, the Nazca tectonic plate drifts inexorably westward, slowly tearing away from its neighbors. From the depths, a volcanic hotspot, a persistent, searing plume of molten rock, rises from the mantle, relentlessly punching through the oceanic crust. Over millions of years, this upwelling magma has erupted again and again, building new land in the heart of the sea. The process is ongoing, a living force. Volcanic eruptions continue to shape the islands, sending rivers of lava streaming down slopes, reshaping coastlines, and adding new layers to the archipelago's ever-changing form. To the east, islands like Espanola stand as ancient sentinels, their volcanic origins softened by time. 4 million years of wind, rain, and relentless sun have carved their surfaces, leaving behind weathered cliffs and eroded craters. These elder islands have drifted away from the volcanic hotspot, carried slowly by the movement of the Nazca plate. Their volcanoes, once fierce and fiery, now lie dormant, their slopes cloaked in the scars of ancient eruptions. In the west, the story is very different. Fernandina and Isabella are geological infants, their surfaces raw and unweathered, still trembling with the energy of recent birth. Here, shield volcanoes rise directly above the hotspot, their flanks periodically engulfed by fresh flows of black basaltic lava. Each eruption blankets the land in a new layer, erasing the past and forging the future in fire. The ground itself is a mosaic of cracked stone and steaming fissures, a testament to the immense power that lies just beneath the surface. Crossing these young lava fields is to witness a world in the making, a landscape so new that the memory of its fiery birth still lingers in the air and stone. The surface is a labyrinth of jagged rock, twisted into fantastical shapes and rope-like flows known as pahoho. Their textures and patterns a frozen record of molten movement. Soil is scarce. Instead, the ground is layered with volcanic ash, tuff and shattered rock, the raw ingredients from which new landscapes are slowly built. Under the relentless equatorial sun, these barren plains shimmer with heat, their black surfaces absorbing and radiating energy, creating an environment both harsh and elemental. The isolation of each island, surrounded by vast stretches of open ocean, has preserved their raw volcanic character, setting the stage for a unique evolutionary drama. The birth of each island is a spectacle of geological forces, magma rising, cooling and solidifying until a new landmass breaks the surface of the sea, bare and lifeless. These newborn islands emerge as sterile mounds of rock, utterly devoid of life, their surfaces scoured by wind and waves, isolated from the continents by hundreds of kilometers of open water. Over time, the ocean itself becomes a conveyor of possibility, carrying fragments of vegetation and the seeds of future life across the waves, delivering them to these remote shores. The wind, the currents, and the resilience of nature conspire to bring the first living pioneers, seabirds soaring above the waves, marine creatures navigating the currents, and plant life clinging to drifting rafts of debris. Through this improbable process of colonization and the profound isolation that followed, the Galapagos became a crucible for evolution, a living laboratory where the forces of geology and life would intertwine in extraordinary ways. What makes the Galapagos a place of such biological wonder is not just its isolation, but the remarkable confluence of powerful oceanic forces. The islands sit at a crossroads where three major ocean currents collide, creating a dynamic and incredibly rich marine environment. From the south, the cold, nutrient-laden Humboldt Current flows up from the Antarctic, bringing cool waters that allow creatures like penguins and fur seals to survive on the equator. From the north, the warm Panama Current brings a touch of the tropics, and from the deep, the Cromwell Current upwells, bringing a bounty of micronutrients to the surface, fueling the entire marine food web. This unique mix makes the waters surrounding the islands teeming with life. This rich marine productivity, combined with the island's isolation, has resulted in an astonishing level of endemism. This means that a vast number of the species found here exist nowhere else on Earth. It is a living museum of unique creatures. Astonishingly, about 80% of the land birds, 97% of the reptiles and land mammals, and more than 30% of the plants are endemic to this one small archipelago. From the world's only sea-dwelling iguana to a cormorant that has entirely lost its ability to fly, the islands are a gallery of evolutionary masterpieces, each one a testament to life's ability to adapt and specialize in the most extraordinary ways. This uniqueness is further amplified by the differences between the islands themselves. Each island presents a distinct set of environmental challenges. Some are low, arid, and desert-like, covered in cacti and scrubland. Others rise high into the clouds, creating cool, moist highlands draped in lush forests and ferns. An animal that thrives on one island might struggle to survive on another just a few kilometers away. This variation has driven a process known as adaptive radiation, where a single ancestral species diversifies into a multitude of new forms, each perfectly tailored to a specific niche. The most famous examples, of course, are Darwin's finches, but the same story has played out in countless other species. The wildlife here exhibits a remarkable harmony, having evolved for millennia in an environment largely free from large land predators. Sea lions, boobies, and giant tortoises coexist in a delicate balance, each species playing a role in the intricate web of life. Sea lions will playfully swim in the clear waters, boobies will perform their courtship dances on the rocky shores, and giant tortoises will placidly munch on vegetation, completely at ease in their environment. This allows for an intimacy with nature that is almost impossible to find anywhere else on the planet. It is a profound and humbling experience to witness such a pristine and harmonious ecosystem, a gentle reminder of the delicate balance of life. Among all the remarkable inhabitants of the Galapagos, none is more iconic than the giant tortoise. These gentle, lumbering behemoths are the island's namesake. The old Spanish word Galapago means saddle, a reference to the shape of the tortoise's shells. They are true giants, with some individuals growing to weigh over 400 kilograms and living for well over a century, making them one of the longest living vertebrates on Earth. To see one moving slowly and deliberately through the highlands of Santa Cruz Island is to witness a creature that seems to belong to a bygone era, a living link to a prehistoric past. The tortoises are a perfect illustration of adaptive radiation across the archipelago. On islands with high humidity and lush vegetation, like Santa Cruz, the tortoises have developed large, dome-shaped shells. This shape allows them to navigate through the dense undergrowth of the forests as they graze on low-lying plants. However, on more arid islands like Espanola, where food is scarce and often grows higher off the ground, a different shell shape evolved. Here the tortoises have a distinctive saddleback shell which arches high over the neck. This remarkable adaptation allows them to stretch their long necks upwards to reach the pads of prickly pear cacti, their primary source of both food and water. These magnificent reptiles are more than just a curiosity. They are keystone species or ecosystem engineers. Their role in shaping their environment is profound. As they graze, they clear paths through the vegetation, creating open spaces that benefit other plants and animals. More importantly, they are the primary seed dispersers for many native plant species. By consuming fruits and then travelling long distances before depositing the seeds in their dung, they help to maintain the health and diversity of the island's plant communities. The very landscape of the Galapagos has been sculpted in part by the slow, steady wanderings of these ancient giants. The life cycle of the Galapagos tortoise begins with the hatching of eggs, often buried in sandy nests. The young tortoises face numerous challenges as they grow, from finding food to avoiding predators. As they mature, these tortoises exhibit fascinating behaviors such as basking in the sun to regulate their body temperature and seeking out water sources during the dry season. Their interactions with other species are equally important. Tortoises often share their habitat with a variety of birds, insects, and other reptiles, contributing to a dynamic and interconnected ecosystem. The Galapagos tortoises are also remarkably resilient, adapting to the island's varying weather conditions. From the wet season's heavy rains to the arid dry season, their ability to thrive in diverse habitats across the archipelago, from coastal areas to volcanic landscapes, showcases their incredible adaptability and evolutionary success. The story of the Galapagos tortoise is a testament to the power of evolution and the intricate balance of nature. These ancient giants continue to inspire awe and wonder, reminding us of the delicate and extraordinary web of life that exists on these enchanted islands. Along the ever-shifting shorelines of the Galapagos, the boundary between land and sea dissolves into a dynamic realm, shaped by powerful currents and volcanic stone. Here, the marine iguana reigns as one of evolution's most astonishing experiments, a reptile uniquely adapted to thrive in both terrestrial and marine worlds. It is the only lizard on Earth that forages in the ocean, braving the cold, surging waters to feed. After their aquatic excursions, these dark, dragon-like creatures gather in dense clusters atop sun-baked volcanic rocks, absorbing heat to restore their body temperature, a vital ritual for their survival. Beneath the waves, they graze on green and red algae clinging to submerged rocks, their blunt snouts and razor-sharp teeth perfectly evolved for scraping this slippery fare. To survive the constant intake of salt water, marine iguanas possess specialized nasal glands that excrete excess salt, which they expel in frequent, forceful sneezes, a remarkable adaptation to their briny diet. On Espanola Island, the breeding season triggers a dramatic transformation. Males erupt in vibrant hues, their skin shifting from somber black to dazzling turquoise, emerald, and crimson. These radiant colors, most vivid in the so-called Christmas iguanas, signal strength and vitality, crucial for attracting mates and deterring rivals. Males engage in ritualized displays, bobbing their heads and flaunting their colors in fierce competition for territory and breeding rights. With their laterally flattened tails and powerful limbs, marine iguanas glide through the sea, capable of diving over 9 meters deep and holding their breath for up to 45 minutes. An extraordinary feat for a reptile. Their existence is a living testament to the relentless force of evolution, transforming a land-dwelling ancestor into a creature perfectly attuned to the ocean's demands. Sharing these rugged coasts, the Galapagos sea lion is a master of both land and sea, its streamlined body and strong flippers engineered for aquatic agility. Highly social, sea lions form tight-knit colonies, their interactions ranging from gentle nuzzling to spirited play, reinforcing bonds and establishing social hierarchies. Pups chase each other through tide pools, honing their swimming and hunting skills, while dominant males, or bulls, patrol the periphery, their deep barks echoing across the rocks as they defend their territories. In the water, sea lions are acrobats, twisting and turning with astonishing speed, their sensitive whiskers detecting the faintest movements of fish in the cool, nutrient-rich currents. Omit. Among the volcanic rocks, the Galapagos penguin stands as a true anomaly, an equatorial penguin uniquely adapted to this tropical archipelago. Unlike their Antarctic relatives, these penguins endure the equatorial sun, their survival made possible by the cool waters delivered by the Humboldt and Cromwell currents. These powerful currents sweep up from the depths, bathing the western islands in cold, nutrient-laden water, sustaining a rich marine food web and allowing these penguins to flourish. The Galapagos penguin, the world's second smallest, has evolved to cope with the heat. Its compact size and sparse plumage help dissipate warmth. To avoid overheating, they extend their flippers to radiate excess heat and pant rapidly, much like terrestrial mammals, to cool their bodies. During the hottest hours, penguins retreat into shaded crevices, coastal caves, and ancient lava tubes, seeking refuge from the relentless equatorial sun, a daily struggle for survival in this land of extremes. The Galapagos Archipelago is a sanctuary for an astonishing diversity of bird life, with over 50 resident species, nearly half of which are found nowhere else on Earth. From the rugged cliffs to the open ocean, the islands are alive with the calls, colours and behaviours of these remarkable avian inhabitants. Among the most iconic are the blue-footed, red-footed and Nazca boobies, each adapted to their own ecological niche. The blue-footed booby, with its vivid turquoise feet, is both comical and captivating. The startling blue of the blue-footed booby's feet is a vital signal of health, while the red-footed booby, the only booby species to nest in trees, sports crimson feet and a pale blue bill. All three booby species are expert fishers, diving with precision to snatch sardines and anchovies from the sea, their diets shaping the vibrant colours of their feet and bills. Courtship rituals are elaborate and unique. The blue-footed booby's high-stepping dance showcases its feet, while the waved albatross, found only on Espanola Island, performs a synchronized fencing display with its mate, reinforcing lifelong bonds. The intensity of these displays signals health and reproductive fitness, ensuring that only the most capable individuals pass on their genes to the next generation. The islands are home to extraordinary hunting techniques. Blue-footed boobies plunge dive from great heights, while the flightless cormorant, unique to the Galapagos, uses powerful legs to chase fish underwater, having lost the ability to fly in favor of aquatic prowess. These adaptations highlight the island's role as a crucible of evolution, where isolation and resourcefulness have shaped birds into specialists. The Galapagos penguin, the only penguin to live north of the equator, darts through cool currents, feeding on small fish and crustaceans, its streamlined body perfectly suited for aquatic life. These penguins nest in crevices along the lava shores, relying on the cold, nutrient-rich waters brought by ocean currents to sustain their colonies. Many species hunt in groups, such as the blue-footed boobies and the nocturnal swallow-tailed gull, the world's only night-feeding gull, which uses keen vision to catch squid and fish by moonlight. The magnificent frigate bird, with its enormous wingspan and weightless grace, dominates the skies, nesting in low shrubs and soaring for hours on thermal currents. Its wingspan to body weight ratio is the highest of any bird, allowing it to travel vast distances in search of food and nesting sites. During the breeding season, males gather in colonies, each inflating a brilliant red gular pouch to attract females flying overhead. The display is a spectacle of colour and patience, with the pouch taking up to 20 minutes to fully inflate, signalling vigour and readiness to breed. Once paired, frigate birds share the duties of nest building and chick rearing, their young dependent on parental care for many months. Frigate birds are renowned for their aerial agility and their role as pirates of the sky, often chasing other seabirds to steal their hard-won catch. Their feathers lack waterproofing, preventing them from diving or swimming, so they rely on aerial theft and surface snatching to survive. This behavior, known as kleptoparasitism, is a dramatic example of the complex interactions that shape the Galapagos ecosystem. With acrobatic skill, frigate birds force other seabirds to surrender their meals, snatching fish mid-air before it falls to the sea. The avian world of the Galapagos is a tapestry of diversity and adaptation, from the predatory Galapagos hawk to the tiny seed-eating finches whose beaks inspired the theory of evolution. Each species plays a vital role in the island's intricate web of life. Here, survival is a daily drama, played out in the skies, on the shores, and across the volcanic landscapes of these enchanted isles. The Galapagos Archipelago stands as a natural archive, its unique flora and fauna offering profound insights into the mechanisms of evolution and adaptation. During a pivotal period of exploration, the islands revealed a remarkable diversity of animal and plant life, each species meticulously adapted to its environment. The revelations did not come in a single moment, but through careful, systematic observation of the island's living inhabitants and their subtle differences. It was through the rigorous analysis of collected specimens, plants and animals alike, that the patterns of variation began to emerge. Among the most striking observations was that mockingbirds from different islands were not merely varieties, but distinct species, each uniquely suited to its home. This pattern extended to the giant tortoises, whose shell shapes varied from island to island, and to the now famous small brown birds, later known as Darwin's finches. These finches in particular became a focal point for understanding adaptive radiation. Scientific examination revealed that what appeared to be different types of birds, wrens, finches and grosbeaks, were in fact all closely related species of finch, each with distinct characteristics. The most remarkable feature was the diversity in their beak shapes and sizes. Some finches possessed robust beaks for crushing hard seeds, others had slender beaks for probing insects, and the woodpecker finch demonstrated tool use, employing twigs or cactus spines to extract grubs from bark. These beak adaptations corresponded precisely to the available food sources on each island, illustrating the principle of ecological specialization. The pattern of variation among both animal and plant life pointed to a profound natural process at work. It was theorized that a single ancestral species had arrived on the islands, and over time diversified into multiple new species, each adapted to a unique ecological niche. Each new species evolved specialized traits such as beak shape or feeding behavior to exploit resources unavailable to others. This gradual transformation of isolated populations, driven by environmental pressures, exemplifies the process of natural selection. The Galapagos, with their distinct habitats and closely related yet divergent species, serve as a natural laboratory for observing evolutionary processes in real time. Here, the interplay of isolation, adaptation, and competition is vividly displayed among the island's animal and plant communities. The scientific insights derived from these observations became foundational to the theory of evolution by natural selection. This theory proposes that organisms with traits best suited to their environment are more likely to survive, reproduce, and pass those traits to the next generation. Over countless generations, this process can give rise to entirely new species, as evidenced by the diversity found in the Galapagos. The unique animals and plants of the Galapagos, the saddleback tortoises, marine iguanas, and the diverse finches, stand as living evidence of evolution's ongoing story, written in the language of adaptation and natural selection. For all their remote beauty and protected status, the Galapagos Islands are not immune to the pressures of the modern world. One of the most persistent and damaging threats comes from invasive species. For millions of years, the native wildlife evolved without the presence of large predators or competitors. The arrival of new species brought with it unwelcome passengers: rats, cats, dogs, pigs, and goats. Rats feast on the eggs and hatchlings of tortoises and land birds, while goats can decimate native vegetation, turning lush landscapes into barren wastelands and outcompeting giant tortoises for food. These invaders disrupt the delicate ecological balance that took millennia to establish. Climate change also casts a long and ominous shadow over the archipelago. The ocean currents that sustain life here are highly sensitive to shifts in global sea temperatures. Events like El Niño, which bring unusually warm waters to the region, are becoming more frequent and intense. The warm water causes the algae that marine iguanas depend on to die off, leading to mass starvation. It also reduces the populations of sardines and other small fish, causing the collapse of seabird colonies. Blue-footed boobies, flightless cormorants, and Galapagos penguins all suffer devastating losses during strong El Niño years, and rising sea temperatures also threaten the precious coral reefs with bleaching. The very things that make the Galapagos special, their isolation and the unique adaptations of their wildlife, also make them incredibly vulnerable. The animals' lack of fear, so enchanting to visitors, makes them easy targets for introduced predators. The specialized diets of creatures like the marine iguana mean they cannot simply switch to another food source when theirs disappears. The future of this evolutionary showcase depends entirely on the resilience of its ecosystems and the natural processes that sustain them. Despite the formidable threats they face, the Galapagos Islands stand as a beacon of hope, where nature's resilience shines through. Across these ancient volcanic lands, native habitats have endured and, in many places, begun to recover, protected by the unique isolation of the archipelago. The surrounding seas, teeming with life, offer sanctuary to countless marine species where natural cycles of renewal continue undisturbed. On the islands themselves, native vegetation has staged a dramatic comeback, reclaiming landscapes once altered and providing shelter for endemic wildlife. Forests once thought lost now flourish again, and ancient tortoises roam beneath their canopies, following the paths of their ancestors. On Espanola Island, tortoise populations have rebounded, their young exploring the wilds and ensuring the survival of their kind. The rare mangrove finch, once on the brink, now sings again in its native thickets, a symbol of the island's enduring spirit. Entire islands have witnessed the return of native animals as natural processes restore balance and diversity. Land iguanas, once absent for centuries, now traverse rocky slopes, shaping the ecosystem as they once did. Their presence brings new life to the landscape as native plants and animals thrive in their wake. Each new tortoise, every hatching finch, and the steady return of lush forests are testaments to the Galapagos' remarkable ability to heal. The Galapagos Islands tell a powerful story of natural recovery and resilience, a living laboratory where hope endures and life finds a way. The Galapagos Islands stand as a living testament to the enduring power of nature, their legacy written in the ongoing stories of the wildlife and ecosystems that call them home. Here, evolution is not a distant memory but a continuous process shaping the destinies of countless species across land, sea and sky. The islands are a sanctuary where finches adapt to shifting food sources, their beaks evolving with each generation, ensuring their survival in a world of constant change. Marine iguanas, ancient and resilient, continue to thrive along the volcanic shores, their unique adaptations allowing them to endure the ebb and flow of ocean temperatures and tides. Across the archipelago, entire ecosystems pulse with life, each species playing a vital role in the intricate web that sustains the islands. The legacy of the Galapagos is written in the resilience of these communities, their ability to adapt, recover and flourish in the face of shifting climates and natural challenges. For the future generations of wildlife, the Galapagos offer a cradle of possibility. Sea lions glide through crystalline waters, their playful energy a promise that the cycles of life will continue. Giant tortoises, ancient wanderers, traverse the volcanic trails, their slow journeys echoing through centuries, carrying the memory of the islands forward. The fearless curiosity of the Galapagos wildlife, birds, reptiles and mammals alike, ensures that the islands remain a sanctuary where nature's wonders unfold in their purest form. Each generation inherits the lessons of adaptation, cooperation and survival, strengthening the bonds that tie species to their environment. The Galapagos stand as a living archive of evolutionary triumphs and challenges, a reminder of what can be achieved when nature is allowed to flourish. The island's legacy is not only in the survival of individual species, but in the enduring harmony of entire ecosystems. The future of the Galapagos depends on the continued balance of its natural forces. The cycles of birth, growth and renewal shape the destiny of every creature, from the smallest insect to the largest tortoise. The relentless struggle against invasive species and the ever-present challenge of climate change test the resilience of these ecosystems, but also drive new adaptations and evolutionary paths for the wildlife that endures here. The Galapagos Islands are a beacon of hope for the future of biodiversity, a place where the story of life continues to unfold generation after generation. The enduring legacy of these islands is not measured in years, but in the thriving of future generations of wildlife and the continued evolution of their ecosystems. The natural cycles of the Galapagos, birth, adaptation and renewal, are the true inheritance of these islands, ensuring that their unique life forms will continue to inspire and thrive. Ultimately, the Galapagos Islands are a symbol of both fragility and endurance. They are a testament to the incredible power of life to adapt and flourish in the most unlikely of places. They are also a stark warning of how quickly a unique world can be undone by carelessness. The ongoing story of the Galapagos is one of wonder, of scientific discovery, and of a determined struggle to preserve a priceless natural legacy. It is a legacy that belongs to the wildlife and ecosystems themselves, a living heritage that will continue to evolve, adapt, and inspire for countless generations of life yet to come. Beneath the tranquil blue surface of the Galapagos waters lies a world few have witnessed, a realm sculpted by fire and pressure, where underwater volcanic vents shape a landscape as dynamic as the islands above. Here, along the ocean floor, molten rock pushes through fissures in the Earth's crust, forging hydrothermal vents that billow with mineral-rich plumes. These vents, sometimes called black smokers, are the beating heart of an extraordinary ecosystem, thriving in absolute darkness and extreme temperatures. Life here is unlike anywhere else on the planet. In the absence of sunlight, a different miracle unfolds: chemosynthesis. Instead of relying on photosynthesis, bacteria harness the chemical energy from vent minerals, forming the foundation of a unique food web. Giant tube worms with their crimson plumes cluster around the vents, absorbing nutrients produced by their symbiotic bacteria. Their bodies, adapted to withstand toxic chemicals and scalding heat, are a symbol of nature's ingenuity. Nearby, ghostly white crabs scuttle across the rocky seabed, their movements quick and purposeful as they feed on bacterial mats and detritus. Shimmering swarms of shrimp, specially evolved to sense chemical cues in the dark, gather in dense clouds, while strange species of fish, some blind, others bioluminescent, navigate the inky blackness in search of food. The geology of this hidden world is ever-changing. New vents erupt, shaping fresh landscapes, while old vents cool and fade, leaving behind towers of mineral deposits. Each eruption brings the promise of new habitats, inviting pioneering species to colonize the still warm rock. The cycle of destruction and renewal beneath the waves mirrors the volcanic creation of the islands themselves, connecting the deep sea to the archipelago above. Despite its remoteness, the vent ecosystem is delicately balanced. Tiny shifts in temperature or chemistry can reshape entire communities, yet the resilience of life here is astounding. From armored limpets clinging to vent chimneys to microscopic organisms thriving where no sunlight penetrates, every creature is a testament to adaptation in the face of adversity. The underwater volcanic vents of the Galapagos remind us that the story of life is not just written on the land or in the shallows, but also in the unseen depths. Here evolution continues its relentless march, forging new paths in the darkness and revealing that even in the most extreme environments, life finds a way. In these hidden worlds, nature's creativity and perseverance shine as brightly as any sunlit shore, completing the Galapagos' legacy as a crucible of life, above and below the waves. While the Galapagos Islands are famed for their extraordinary animal life, the flora of this archipelago tells an equally fascinating story. These islands, born of fire and isolated by the sea, have become a living laboratory where plants have evolved unique adaptations to thrive in an often harsh and unpredictable environment. On the arid lowlands, the resilient prickly pear cactus stands as a sentinel of survival. Its thick, water-storing pads and formidable spines protect it from both the scorching sun and hungry herbivores. Yet, the cactus also supports life, providing food and shelter for creatures like the iconic Galapagos land iguana and the diminutive cactus finch. The symbiotic relationships here are a testament to the delicate balance of the ecosystem. Higher up, in the humid highlands, lush Scalesia forests create a stark contrast to the dry coastal areas. These forests, often referred to as the Galapagos cloud forests, are dominated by the Scalesia tree, a member of the daisy family that has evolved into towering giants. Their broad leaves capture moisture from the mist, creating a cool, damp microclimate that supports a rich diversity of life, from mosses and ferns to orchids and bromeliads. This verdant canopy is a haven for numerous bird species, including the famous Darwin's finches, which find ample food and nesting sites among the branches. Another remarkable plant is the lava cactus, which colonizes the barren lava fields. Its slender, yellowish stems are among the first to emerge after a volcanic eruption, stabilizing the soil and paving the way for other species to follow. This process of ecological succession illustrates the resilience and pioneering spirit of life on these islands. The mangrove forests along the coastlines are another critical habitat, where red, black, white and buttonwood mangroves create a complex network of roots that stabilize shorelines and provide nurseries for marine life. These tangled roots trap sediment and create calm waters, offering a safe haven for juvenile fish, crabs and other creatures, while also serving as a vital buffer against coastal erosion. Each plant species in the Galapagos has its own story of adaptation and survival. The endemic Galapagos cotton, with its salt-resistant leaves, thrives in the saline coastal soils, while the unique daisy trees, which have evolved from common daisies into woody shrubs and trees, showcase the incredible potential for diversification in isolated environments. These green guardians of the Galapagos not only support the island's fauna, but also play a crucial role in maintaining the ecological balance. They stabilize the soil, prevent erosion, and create habitats that nurture a myriad of life forms. The interplay between the flora and fauna here is a delicate dance of mutual dependence, highlighting the interconnectedness of all living things. As we marvel at the unique plant life of the Galapagos, we are reminded of the intricate web of life that sustains these enchanted isles. In their quiet, steadfast way, the plants of the Galapagos contribute to the island's legacy of natural wonder and biological richness, standing as silent witnesses to the ongoing story of evolution and adaptation that unfolds in this extraordinary corner of the world. Beneath the surface beauty of the Galapagos lies a complex and delicate web of life, an intricate network of interdependent relationships that bind every living thing on the islands together. Here, survival is not a solo act, but a communal performance, where each species plays a role in maintaining the balance of this isolated ecosystem. At the heart of these webs are the plants, transforming sunlight into energy and providing the foundation for every food chain. The prickly pear cactus, for example, is more than just a survivor of arid lands. It's a lifeline for the Galapagos land iguana. These iguanas feast on the cactus pads and fruit, gaining precious hydration and nutrients. In turn, the iguanas disperse cactus seeds across the landscape, ensuring the next generation of cacti can take root. But the connections run deeper. The cactus finch, with its specialized beak, feeds on the cactus flowers and nectar, while also pollinating them, creating a mutually beneficial relationship. Meanwhile, the Galapagos hawk, perched atop the food web, preys on iguanas, snakes, and smaller birds like the finches. As apex predators, these hawks help regulate populations, preventing any one species from overwhelming the ecosystem. Along the coasts, mangrove forests provide nurseries for juvenile fish and crabs. These young creatures are prey for herons and lava herons, which stalk the tangled roots in search of a meal. Marine iguanas, unique in their ability to graze on underwater algae, feed in the surf and later bask on sun-warmed rocks. Their droppings return nutrients to the shoreline, enriching the soil for coastal plants and continuing the cycle of nourishment. Even the island's famed giant tortoises play a crucial role. As they roam the highlands, they trample vegetation and disperse seeds in their wake. The seeds pass through the tortoise's digestive tracts, often germinating more successfully as a result. This process helps shape the very landscape of the islands, influencing which plants thrive and where. Symbiosis and competition are everywhere. Mockingbirds and finches sometimes follow tortoises and iguanas, snatching up insects disturbed by their movement. On the other hand, the sharp-beaked ground finch has been observed pecking at the skin of larger animals like boobies, feeding on their blood when other food is scarce, a stark reminder that adaptation can take unexpected forms. All these interactions weave together a resilient, ever-shifting tapestry. Remove one thread and the integrity of the whole can unravel. The Galapagos food webs are living proof of nature's interconnectedness, where every creature, from the smallest insect to the grandest tortoise, has a part to play in the ongoing drama of life. In the Galapagos, the story of survival is written not just in the struggle of individuals, but in the bonds between them, a living lesson in the power and fragility of ecological relationships. Across the Galapagos, the passage of time is marked not by human calendars, but by the subtle and sweeping changes of the seasons. Unlike temperate climates, the islands experience two main seasons, each bringing its own set of transformations and challenges for the creatures that call this archipelago home. From June to December, the cool and dry Garua season descends. Misty clouds blanket the highlands, and a gentle drizzle nourishes the lush mosses and ferns. In these months, the surrounding seas are chilled by the Humboldt Current, rich in nutrients that spark an explosion of marine life. Sea lions gather in large colonies, their pups learning to swim in the cool surf, while blue-footed boobies perform their famous courtship dances on rocky shores. On land, the vegetation shrinks and the landscape takes on a more muted palette, but the highlands remain a refuge, with giant tortoises migrating upward in search of fresher pastures shrouded in mist. Then, as December gives way to May, the warm and wet season arrives. Tropical rains sweep across the islands, transforming the arid lowlands into a vibrant tapestry of green. Flowers bloom, insects buzz, and the air is alive with the calls of finches and mockingbirds. The warm Panama Current brings calmer seas and clear waters, inviting marine iguanas to bask and feed more freely. The abundance of food triggers a rush of breeding activity. Land iguanas lay their eggs, sea turtles return to sandy beaches to nest, and flamingos gather in brackish lagoons, their plumage glowing against the emerald backdrop. The cycles of wet and dry, cool and warm shape every aspect of life in the Galapagos. Some animals, like the waved albatross, time their arrival and nesting to coincide with the bounty of the warm season. Others, such as the flightless cormorant, adapt their fishing and feeding strategies as the currents shift and prey moves with the tides. Even the islands themselves respond. Plants drop leaves to conserve water during drought, then burst forth in new growth with the rains. Predators and prey alike must constantly adjust to survive. When food is scarce, finches may alter their diets, and marine iguanas shrink in size to conserve energy. The changing seasons test the resilience of every species, reinforcing the delicate balance that keeps this ecosystem thriving. Here in the Galapagos, the rhythm of life is set by the pulse of the seasons, a silent, ancient metronome guiding the endless dance of adaptation and survival year after year. Beneath the surface of the Galapagos, a hidden force weaves through the islands, one that shapes every creature, every coral, every grain of sand. This is the power of the ocean currents. Like vast underwater rivers, these currents bring life, nutrients and change to the archipelago, forging the foundation of its extraordinary biodiversity. The cold Humboldt current sweeps up from the Antarctic, hugging the island's western shores. Its frigid embrace cools the waters and infuses them with a wealth of nutrients, fueling a surge of plankton that forms the base of the marine food web. Here, vast schools of fish gather, drawing in sea lions, flightless cormorants, and Galapagos penguins, the only penguins to thrive at the equator. Even the stealthy Galapagos shark patrols these nutrient-rich waters, a silent guardian of the deep. From the north, the warm Panama current occasionally arrives, bathing the islands in gentler, tropical waters. When it mingles with the Humboldt, it sparks dramatic shifts in sea temperature and salinity. These changes ripple through the ecosystem. Some species flourish, while others retreat or adapt. Corals bloom in the warmth, while certain fish and marine reptiles seize the opportunity to breed and feed. Beneath the waves, the equatorial undercurrent, or Cromwell current, surges eastward along the ocean floor before rising near the island's western edges. It brings a hidden bounty of deep-sea nutrients to the surface, creating oases of abundance where giant manta rays glide and hammerhead sharks gather in swirling schools. This ever-shifting network of currents determines not only where life can thrive, but also how it evolves. The currents isolate some populations, allowing unique species to emerge, while connecting others, spreading new opportunities for survival. For the marine iguana, these pulses of cold and warm water dictate when and where they can feed on algae clinging to submerged rocks. For the green sea turtle, the currents become migratory highways, guiding them to ancient nesting grounds. In the Galapagos, the ocean's pulse is constant, a silent architect, shaping the island's destiny and ensuring that beneath the waves, life continues to flourish in endlessly inventive forms. Across the Galapagos, the land itself breathes and transforms, a dynamic tapestry sculpted by fire. Here the islands are born from restless volcanic forces deep beneath the Pacific. Each peak, each blackened shore tells a story millions of years in the making. Lava fields stretch like frozen rivers, their jagged surfaces glinting in the sunlight. Some are ancient, carpeted with pioneer lichens and the first hints of green, while others remain stark and fresh, their twisted ropes and fractured crusts bearing the scars of recent eruptions. Shield volcanoes like Sierra Negra on Isabella Island loom on the horizon, vast sloping giants that quietly release plumes of steam and heat into the sky. Crater lakes shimmer in secluded calderas, their waters tinted by minerals from the Earth's core. Fumaroles hiss from beneath the ground, venting sulphurous gases and painting the rocks in brilliant shades of yellow and orange. Here the landscape is in constant flux. New land emerges as molten lava flows meet the sea, hissing and crackling, forging new coastlines before our eyes. Beneath the surface, magma chambers shift and swell, preparing for their next moment of release. Even now, the Galapagos are growing, reshaping and renewing, an endless dance of destruction and creation. These volcanic forces set the stage for life's arrival, shaping habitats from barren basalt to lush highlands and reminding us that in the Galapagos the only constant is change. Amidst the smouldering rocks and shifting landscapes, some of the Galapagos' most iconic residents bask in the equatorial sun, scaled survivors whose stories began eons ago. Here, reptiles reign, each species a marvel of adaptation, perfectly tuned to the island's unique environments. On black lava shores, the marine iguana emerges, a creature found nowhere else on Earth. With flattened tails and salt-crusted heads, these sea dragons plunge into frigid waters, grazing on underwater algae. Their bodies darken to absorb warmth after every dive, and their blunt noses scrape food from the slickest rocks. When the sea is harsh, they shrink in size, their bones subtly reabsorbed to survive lean times. Inland, the land iguana patrols the arid plains. With golden-hued scales and robust limbs, they feast on prickly cacti, their tough mouths impervious to spines. Each island harbours its own distinct variation, shaped by isolation and the demands of its landscape. Hidden among the leaf litter, the elusive lava lizard scurries, tiny, swift and endlessly adaptable. Their colours shift from island to island, blending with the stones and sand, a living mosaic of evolution. Males flash vibrant throats in territorial displays, while females guard their eggs in shallow burrows, safe from the searing heat. Tortoises, ancient stoic wanderers, traverse the highlands and lowlands alike, shaping the very ecosystem as they roam. Their slow, deliberate movements carve trails through the undergrowth, dispersing seeds and opening new pathways for life to flourish. Amphibians are rare in this oceanic world, but a few introduced species cling to humid corners, their presence a subtle reminder of the island's isolation. Here, every scale, shell and stride tells a story of survival, of creatures that have adapted to fire, drought and fierce competition. Together, these reptiles and amphibians form a living tapestry, predators and prey, gardeners and grazers, each one vital to the balance of island life. In the Galapagos, the dance of scales and sun continues, a testament to nature's endless creativity and the resilience of life on the edge. Beneath the grandeur of giant tortoises and the glare of volcanic stone, another world thrives, one measured in millimeters, yet mighty in its influence. The insects of the Galapagos, often overlooked, are the silent engineers of these enchanted isles. Here, beetles burrow through leaf litter, recycling nutrients and aerating the soil. Ants patrol invisible highways, scavenging scraps and defending their tiny territories with remarkable tenacity. Amidst the tangle of endemic vegetation, pollinators perform a daily ballet. Galapagos carpenter bees, with their iridescent wings, hover from blossom to blossom, transferring life itself with every landing. Hoverflies and moths join the dance, each uniquely adapted to the island's shifting seasons and peculiar blooms. Without these pollinators, many native plants, including the iconic Scalesia trees and prickly pear cacti, would wither, unable to set seed or bear fruit. Some insects have evolved alongside their plant partners, forging relationships found nowhere else on Earth. The Galapagos cotton plant, for example, relies on its own distinct moth for pollination, a bond shaped by millennia of isolation. Even the prickly pear cactus shelters specialized weevils and beetles, each fulfilling a niche in the delicate web of life. In this miniature realm, predators lurk as well. Dragonflies dart above brackish ponds, hunting midges with acrobatic precision. Spiders spin intricate webs between cactus spines, patiently awaiting the next unsuspecting guest. Parasitoid wasps keep herbivore populations in check, unseen custodians of ecological balance. Though small in size, these tiny titans are essential architects of the Galapagos ecosystem. They ensure the flow of energy, the spread of seeds, and the very survival of countless species. In their tireless, unnoticed labour, the insects and pollinators of the Galapagos remind us even the smallest creatures can shape the fate of a world. Beyond the rugged coastlines and beneath the azure waves, the marine mammals of the Galapagos Archipelago play out their lives in a dance of grace and power. Among these oceanic guardians, the Galapagos sea lions are perhaps the most emblematic. With sleek, streamlined bodies, they glide effortlessly through the water, their playful antics a source of endless fascination. On land, they bask in the equatorial sun, their barks echoing across the volcanic shores. Social creatures by nature, sea lions form tight-knit colonies where mothers vigilantly care for their pups and dominant bulls fiercely defend their harems. Their interactions are a delicate balance of cooperation and competition, a testament to the complex social structures that govern their lives. Yet the sea lions are not the only marine mammals to grace these waters. The Galapagos is also home to pods of dolphins, whose acrobatic displays are a sight to behold. Spinner dolphins leap and twirl with exuberant energy, while the more reserved bottlenose dolphins navigate the currents with an air of quiet intelligence. These cetaceans communicate through a series of clicks and whistles, their sophisticated vocalizations allowing them to coordinate hunting strategies and maintain social bonds. In the deeper waters, the majestic presence of the orca, or killer whale, can occasionally be glimpsed. These apex predators patrol the ocean with an imposing grace, their black and white bodies slicing through the water with lethal precision. As they hunt in coordinated pods, their intelligence and teamwork are laid bare, a reminder of the intricate balance of predator and prey that sustains the marine ecosystem. The marine mammals of the Galapagos are also key indicators of the health of the ocean environment. Their behaviors and population dynamics offer crucial insights into the state of the marine ecosystem, reflecting changes in food availability, water quality, and climate conditions. As guardians of the ocean, they embody the resilience and adaptability required to thrive in an ever-changing world. In their movements we see the pulse of the ocean itself, a rhythm of life that connects all creatures, great and small. The sea lion's playful dives, the dolphin's synchronized swims, and the orca's powerful hunts all tell a story of survival, interconnectedness, and the enduring spirit of the Galapagos. These marine mammals, with their captivating behaviors and intricate interactions, remind us of the ocean's boundless wonders and the delicate balance that sustains it. As we marvel at their grace and intelligence, we are called to protect and preserve the marine habitats they call home, ensuring that the dance of the oceanic guardians continues for generations to come. Across the Galapagos, every life is part of an ancient, unbroken cycle. A story written in sun, sea, and volcanic stone. Here, birth, growth, and death are not merely events, but vital threads woven into the fabric of the archipelago's ecosystem. On sandy shores, marine iguanas emerge from buried eggs, their tiny bodies instinctively racing toward the safety of blackened lava rocks. Only a fraction will survive, for Galapagos hawks circle overhead, ever watchful for a new meal. In the highlands, giant tortoise hatchlings break free from leathery shells, embarking on a slow journey that may span more than a century. Their first fragile steps are fraught with peril, but for those that endure, old age brings the wisdom of countless seasons. Each birth is balanced by loss. Fallen chicks beneath a blue-footed booby nest become nourishment for crabs and scavengers, while the passing of an elderly sea lion returns nutrients to the land and sea, fueling the next generation. Even the smallest insect plays its part, pollinating flowers, feeding songbirds, or decomposing the detritus of the forest floor. Predators and prey, competitors and collaborators, all are bound by nature's rules. The cycles of abundance and scarcity drive migrations and shape behaviors. When the ocean's currents shift and bring cooler waters, plankton blooms feed schools of fish, which in turn attracts seabirds and marine mammals in a feeding frenzy. When food is scarce, resilience and adaptability determine who survives and who fades into memory. In this intricate dance, no creature stands alone. The death of one becomes the life of another, and the balance of the ecosystem is maintained through countless interactions, both seen and unseen. The Galapagos teaches that every ending is also a beginning, and that life's most profound beauty lies in its constant renewal. Here, in the heart of the archipelago, the cycles of birth, life, and death are both ordinary and extraordinary, a testament to the enduring power of nature, untouched and eternal.